What's up everybody, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be featuring a full Pokeball theme team in the Open Great League. Today is April Fool's Day, and Niantic did give us an event where Pokemon that look like Pokeballs are spawning in the wild. So I thought, why not put 3 of them on the same team and head to battle? Of course, this is more of a meme or theme team, but I was still able to pull off some crazy wins with it, and with that being said, let's just hop into the question of the day. What theme team would you like to see me run next in the Open Great League? Don't forget to post your answers in the comment section down below. And with that being said, let's get into the battles now. So hopping into the first battle, we lead Electrode into Stunfisk. We've got 2 grass types in the back, so we're going to say switch into Amoonguss and see what the opponent's best grass type counter is. The opponent banks a charge move and then send out Mandibuzz. If we run in Sludge Bomb, we would be able to hit for at least neutral, but unfortunately today, we're running Grass Knot and Foul Play that did get reworked this season. Everything we can throw is going to be resisted damage, but of course in this matchup Grass Knot is the correct move to throw as it does get same type attack bonus. Despite only hitting for resisted, we've done some okay damage this Mandibuzz, getting them to around a third health. Switch timers up, rather than concede a farm down, we're going to send out Electrode and look to get ahead in energy. The opponent fire off the Dark Pulse, and they continue to stay in, which is more than fine for me. Stunfisk likely returns, and they might even consider shielding, as Electrode of course does have access to Hyper Beam. The first Foul Play does force that Protect Shield, then we're able to win CMP. So despite this being a terrible matchup on paper, we have at least now got ourselves a shield advantage, and at this point we really need Foongus to be good, not only against Stunfisk, but also good against what's in the back. I've still got 2 shields, and potentially I can look to make a sacrificial swap onto the low health Amoonguss. The opponent continued to stay in. We are going to need to start shielding. This Foongus is level 50, but despite that, it's not all that bulky. We're going to full send the Grass Knot. Grass Knot goes unshielded, and out comes Jellicent. Jellicent's going to farm up. We're able to catch back onto Amoonguss, giving ourselves a fighting chance. We are running out of HP. We need to be able to survive the Hex damage, reaching the double Grass Knot. The first Grass Knot going to be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. Foongus just about survives the Hex damage, reaches the next Grass Knot, and I'm able to take that game. GG's to that opponent there. So, heading into the next battle. We lead Electrode into Claydol, another terrible lead. We're going to say switch once again into Amoonguss and see what the opponent wants to do. The opponent opt to stay in, so we're going to fire off the Foul Play. Foul Play, going to do some okay damage. It doesn't get the same type attack bonus, but we do get ourselves an early shield. The opponent stays in, fire off the Scorching Sands. Thankfully, we don't get debuffed, and out comes Wigglytuff. Astonish is going to be double resisted, but Grass Knot going to do a lot and already gets Wigglytuff below half health. The opponent is going to commit to that full Charm down, but that's fine for me. We're going to send out Electrode. Electrode is going to invest a Protect Shield, blocking up the Icy Wind, and I'm going to try and commit to a full Volt Switch farm down. Of course, that Claydol isn't going to be a fantastic matchup, but Foul Play will hit back for super effective. I recognise we're not going to be able to get that full farm down. Opt to fire off the Discharge. Discharge does go unshielded, and out comes Cradilly. This works out perfectly for me. The opponent obviously doesn't want to tank the Foul Play onto Claydol, where it will be super effective. I fire off the Foul Play. The opponent goes for the classic U-Switch, I-Switch, and we now have the alignment that we want. I go straight for the Grass Knot. Grass Knot gets the one shot, and it's all down to Cradilly. I am going to invest a Protect Shield, blocking up the Rock Tomb. The opponent still has a shield to hide behind with debuff. We're going straight for the neutral Grass Knot. Grass Knot is able to land, and this Cradilly is very quickly running out of HP. We should be able to survive this Rock Tomb, and these Bullet Seeds are double resisted. We're now very deep in the red health range. We bank the Body Slam, send out Electrode, just looking to force the energy. Of course, the opponent still has a shield to hide behind. Can we farm them down before the opponent double resisted? Bullet Seed farm us down. We're just about able to do it, and we take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Heading into the next battle. Finally, we see a great lead. Electrode into Talonflame. The opponent's going to opt to stay in, at least for a little bit. They fire off 2 Incinerates and then send out Dunsparce. Today's team doesn't have a great answer for Dunsparce. So I'm going to fire off the Discharge, some decent chip damage, and then send out Amoonguss. In this scenario, it's really important that I went for some chip damage before pivoting out. We're hitting for double resisted by Astonish damage, but after landing that Discharge, one Grass Knot should be able to still knock this Dunsparce out. I really do need alignment, as of course we don't want Fungus aligned with that Talonflame. We fire off the Grass Knot, able to get the knockout, and as I overfarmed, I'm even able to reach a Foul Play at the returning Talonflame, getting it off on turn 6 before that second Incinerate does register. The opponent invests the Protect Shield, I send out Electrode. I'm also going to shield here. The opponent go for the Flame Charge. Raising their attack, we fire off one Volt Switch and the Discharge. Discharge forces the opponent's final Protect Shield, and I'm more than happy to match. The opponent fire off the Flame Charge. We're able to Volt Switch farm down before that boosted Incinerate registers. Whatever's in the back. Clearly didn't like Electrode, and the opponent concedes the match. So GG's that opponent there. So heading into the next battle, we see another awful lead as we lead Electrode into Superior. Once again, we save switch into Amoonguss, and this time we're answered by Talonflame. We're able to land the foul play, and if the opponent overfarm, we'll even reach one more. The opponent smartly opt to throw energy. Once again, this is a Flame Charge variant of Talonflame, meaning these Incinerates are now going to do even more damage. We're going to send back out Electrode. Electrode, unfortunately, unable to farm down before the opponent reach one further charge move. I'm going to invest the Protect Shield and then go for that Volt Switch farm down. This matchup, of course, isn't great for Electrode. We do have an energy lead, so we are able to land the foul play. We then pause a turn. We're trying to catch a double resisted Frenzy Plant onto Foongus, and we're able to do that successfully. That is a huge catch for me. Hopefully, with the Talonflame out the way, the opponent doesn't have a great answer for our Grass and Poison type. We go straight for the Body Slam. Body Slam forced the Protect Shield. I'm going to burn the final Protect Shield, blocking up the Aerial Ace. Again, we throw 3 Astonishes and the Body Slam, only giving the opponent one free turn. Body Slam forces the opponent's final protection, and again we look to make the catch, this time of a resisted Aerial Ace onto our Electrode. The opponent then sends out more Pekos. If the opponent manages their energy well, this is going to be game over for me. We land the Discharge. The opponent does overfarm, perfectly playing to the CMP tie. The opponent fire off the Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs does pick up the knockout. The opponent leaves with the Aura Wheel. And Dark-type Aura Wheel is going to pick up the one shot, and unfortunately we do lose that battle. But GG's that opponent there. So heading into the next battle, we see Electrode into Craydiddy. A Shadow Craydiddy as well. This is a type negative matchup for us. However, we're able to fire off the foul play before the opponent does debuff us. Foul play does force us an early shield advantage. We are about to survive a Rock Tomb. After tanking the charge move, I'm going to make the pivot once again into Amoonguss. The opponent sends out Shadow Typhlosion, of course. This isn't a great matchup, but the opponent is already down one Protect Shield. They're unwilling to shield twice. We're able to land the foul play, and I can just shield this move up. We're going to be able to Astonish farm down before the next Incinerate registers. We're going to leave fairly healthy with residual energy good to go. If Craydiddy does return, we're going to be able to outpace the Grass Knot. The opponent actually sends out Blastoise. That's fine with me. We're able to land the Grass Knot. Grass Knot, massive damage, and once again, we're able to make the catch back onto Electrode. The opponent fire off the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon does pick up the knockout. I am going to wait out my timer. We're going to send out Foongus. Foongus going to look for the Astonish farm down. The opponent recognise the game's over, and they do concede the match. So GG's that opponent there. So hopping into the next battle, once again, we see another Craydiddy in the lead. Most Craydiddys love to debuff as soon as they can. So with that in mind, we are going to throw an alignment, but we do win CMP. This time foul play does go unshielded. Again, we're not going to shield this move and eventually look to make the pivot into our Amoonguss. Amoonguss hits the field of play. Again, the opponent looked to stay in, firing off yet another very annoying debuff. After debuffing us, the opponent sends out Swalot. Swalot is one very bulky Pokemon. These foul plays don't get same type attack bonus, and we're one stage debuffed, and we're going to need like 5 of these to knock out this Swalot. However, as we're a Grass and Poison type, if the opponent go for a Sludge, rather than a super effective Ice Beam, we should be able to survive. The opponent does go for that Sludge. We're able to withstand the damage. Again, we fire off one further foul play. Foul play isn't going to do enough to knock out, and we make the pivot back into Electrode. The opponent do throw a charge move on alignment, so I'm thinking I might be able to farm down. Unfortunately, that isn't the case, so I'm going to fire off this foul play on the CMP type. Foul play does get the knockout. Back out comes Craydiddy. We're able to fire off 2 Volt Switches and the foul play. That's 8 turns into 9, forcing the opponent's final protection. The opponent able to Bullet Seed farm down. Unfortunately, we don't get the damage registration error, and we do die with that charge move. I send out my shiny level 50 Foongus. We tank 1 Rock Tomb, pivot into Amoonguss, and the opponent's going to be unable to double resisted Bullet Seed farm us down. We send back out Foongus. It's Blastoise in the back. We farm to the Grass Knot bait with the Body Slam. We really need to draw the opponent's final Protect Shield. If Jamie Finn was watching, he would say this is why you should not bait, as I think that'll be game over for me. I'm going to shield at the Hydro Cannon, and we've got 1 Wink on. The opponent looking to shield flex on us. I force in the Grass Knot. Grass Knot force the opponent's final Protect Shield, and they are going to be able to outpace to the Hydro Cannon. And from this range, resisted Hydro Cannon will pick up the knockout, and we're going to take a loss. So GG's to that opponent there. So hopping into the next battle, it looks like I've talked Jamie Finn into existence, and we see one of his favourite Pokemon, a Shadow Beedrill. The opponent does fire off the X's on alignment, giving me a free Volt Switch. The opponent's actually running Fail Stinger. Fail Stinger wouldn't have done a lot, so I'm kind of disappointed I shielded there. However, as the opponent threw an alignment, we are going to be able to reach back-to-back discharges. The opponent shields one, tank the second, and we do take switch. The opponent sends out Gliscopod, we see the pivot into Amoonguss, and the opponent's actually running a triple bug theme team. Very cool to see. Both Arachnid and Gliscopod are bug and water type, so Grass Knot of course is the most energy efficient move to throw. But we're able to land the foul play on what looks like to be a CMP tie. Bug Buzz will hit for neutral and a lot of neutral damage. Bug Buzz gets me low. We look to reach another foul play, but unfortunately do get farmed down. I send out my Fungus. The opponent, rather than concede a farm down, send back up Gliscopod. X's a hits for neutral. Gets me below half health, and this time we are going to full send the Grass Knot, looking to do maximum damage. Grass Knot able to sneak through the final Protect Shield, quick switch into Electrode. The Volt Switch does sneak through, so we can shield this move up. Volt Switch farm down Gliscopod, Volt Switch farm down Arachnid, and we take that game. So GG's to that opponent there, very cool team. Hopping into the next battle, we see Diggersby in the lead. Despite running two grass types in the back, Diggersby is going to be a core breaker for this team. Ground, double resist both electric and ghost, so everything on my team is hitting for double resisted with a quick move. I say switch into Amoonguss. The opponent fire off the fire punch, continues to stay in. We're able to land the Grass Knot, which is huge for me, getting off some much needed chip damage. It looks like the opponent doesn't have a great answer for my Amoonguss, so I'm going to invest a Protect Shield, blocking up the next fire punch, and out comes Dusclops. So despite my team being core broken by Diggersby, the opponent doesn't really have a great answer for our Amoonguss either. I was really hoping the opponent there would have went for a Shadow Punch, which we might have been able to survive, getting one further foul play. Unfortunately, they fire off the Ice Punch, picking up the knockout. I send back out Electrode. Electrode going to overfarm as much as I physically can before firing off the foul play. Foul play removes Dusclops from the field of play. Back out comes Diggersby. We fire off the foul play. The opponent still with two shields, refusing to shield anything, and I switch out into Fungus. The opponent might be deep in the red. We're going to have a near impossible task of fast moving them down. I look to fire off the Body Slam, but we actually lose CMP. Diggersby doesn't win too many CMP ties, but they've actually got a 2 higher attack than my Fungus. It's Dust Noir in the back. Unfortunately, that team a bit too much for my team, and we are going to lose that battle. But GG's that opponent there. In the next battle, we see Palossand in the lead. The opponent send out Lickitung. Despite us hitting for double resisted with the Astonished damage, this isn't too bad a matchup for us. The opponent just fire off a Body Slam, which is an easy tank for us. We're going to go straight for the Grass Knot. Grass Knot does around half the health. So potentially we can flip this matchup. If the opponent doesn't respect the next Grass Knot, they fire off one further Body Slam. I'm going to farm up as much energy as I physically can. I fire off the next Grass Knot, and we really need this to go unshielded. Grass Knot picks up the one shot. Back out comes Palossand. The opponent tried to Astonish farm down. We're able to reach the departing foul play, forcing us to Protect Shield, and we have the alignment that we want. Both Scorching Sands and Shadow Ball will hit for neutral, so we are going to shield this up. The opponent fire off the Scorching Sands. We look for the full Astonish farm down, unfortunately unable to get it before the departing Scorching Sands is reached, but I'm happy to double shield here, and out comes Azumarill. We go straight for the Grass Knot. Grass Knot goes unshielded, we then pivot out into Electrode, and this game should be over from here. Even if Azumarill is able to knock me out with a Hydro Pump, if they're even running it, we should be able to Astonish farm down everything. They actually fire off the Play Rough. We get that farm down, leaving with the double foul play. The opponent still has a shield to hide behind. Foul play, forced to Protect Shield. We send out Fungus. Fungus, Astonish farms down, and we're able to take that game. So GG's that opponent there. So heading into the next battle, we see Lapras in the lead. This is certainly where the team wants to see it. Despite us running two grass types in the back, the grass and poison to the sideways will be hitting for super effective. The opponent fire off the Sparkling Aura at really bad timing, giving me a free Volt Switch in the process. Electrode fires off the Discharge. Discharge number 1 forces the Protect Shield. The opponent all down 1 Protect Shield. Discharge number 2 forces the final Protect Shield. And rather than get farmed down, I am going to send out Amoonguss. We look to fire off the foul play, but the opponent makes a very nice catch, catching onto Mandibuzz where it doesn't do much of anything. We've seen this matchup previously. Aerial Ace does hit for super effective, but doesn't do too much damage, and the opponent is never ever going to be able to snarl farm me down. We're going to farm up, throw the Grass Knot on the CMP tie. Grass Knot at least gets them below half health, and at this point I'm happy to let Amoonguss go. I send back out Electrode. The opponent, rather than concede a farm down, pivot out into Clodsire, and I send out Fungus. Fungus with 2 shield. We are going to shield up with Sludge Bomb that would hit for neutral. Earthquake would actually do more in this matchup, as both moves hit for neutral. We're going to fire off the Grass Knot. Grass Knot looks like it's going to be quite close to 2-shot, and the opponent just fire off another Sludge Bomb, which we're happy to shield. Fungus going to continue to farm up energy. Fungus now deep in the red, and I'm going to burn the final Protect Shield here. The opponent actually able to combo play us with that Sparkling Aura they've got banked. Once again, Fungus would lose this CMP tie. Electrode, unfortunately, is going to die to the sideways, and we are going to take a loss. But GG's that opponent there. Unfortunately, Fungus being sub 1100 CP, it doesn't win too many charge attack priorities. In the next battle, we see a battle of electric types. Togedemaru just settles for the Fail Stinger, which does boost their attack, but the Thunder Shocks aren't going to do much as they are resisted. We're able to land the Foul Play, we then pivot into Amoonguss. Even a boosted Wild Charge won't do too much damage, as Wild Charge is resisted by a Sub-Grass type in. The opponent answers my Amoonguss save switch with Primate, which is fine for me. Rage Fist isn't going to be lethal. We're going to farm to the Grass Knot, bait with the Foul Play now, and the Primate views essentially shield everything. As we baited, we are going to force the energy here. However, this is now going to be a double boosted Primate we need to contend with. We do have energy on Electrode, so I'm going to send back at Electrode and go straight for the Discharge, looking to get the knockout. If the opponent double shield here, we might be in a spot of bother. Thankfully, Discharge does go unshielded. We pivot into Fungus, and once again we see a Clodsire hit the field of play. Last time Fungus was unable to handle this Clodsire, so here we are looking for some redemption. We're going to shoot at the Sludge Bomb, fire off the correct one Astonish and the Grass Knot. Grass Knot sneaks through the protection. The opponent then send out Togedemaru. Togedemaru just feeds us free energy, and we should be home and dry. Again, there's no point in baiting, as we still got a shield tie behind the opponent. Shield at the Grass Knot. We look to make the catch onto Electro. The catch attempt is unsuccessful. The opponent is going to be forced to dump energy. Sludge Bomb picks up the knockout. Fungus still with that shield to hide behind. Going to be shielding up here. The opponent going to fire off the Sludge Bomb. We're going to throw one Astonish and the Grass Knot. And from this range, Grass Knot should be enough to get the one shot, and we take that game. So GG's that opponent there. So heading into the next battle, we see Electrode into Talonflame. Very nice to catch Talonflame in the lead position, and it's even better for me the opponent is going to stay in. The opponent bank 2 Incinerates before save switching into Goodra. We're going to fire off the Foul Play for some chip damage, and I'm actually going to opt to send out Fungus. Despite Fungus's, well, let's be honest, quite pathetic CP, we are going to resist the usual moveset of Aqua Tail and Thunder Punch. The opponent didn't even farm up to a Draco Meteor. We fire off the Body Slam. Body Slam actually isn't enough to get the knockout. We do want to keep alignment, so I'm going straight for Body Slam at number 2. Body Slam picks up the knockout. Talonflame able to Incinerate farm down. Of course, we're going to have to send that Electrode here, but the opponent now does have an energy lead. The opponent doesn't throw at the best timing. Throwing one Incinerate, giving me free turns. The opponent fire off the Fly. We're going to fire off one Volt Switch and the Discharge, looking to knock this thing out. The opponent invests the Protect Shield. Again, really poor fast move timing, which should enable me to shield and fully Volt Switch farm him down. The opponent not wanting to get farmed down. Send out for Alligator. We're going straight for the Discharge. Discharge, force the final Protect Shield, and we send out Amoonguss. The opponent is going to be able to outpace to an Ice Beam, but Ice Beam doesn't get same type attack bonus. We're able to withstand the damage, reach the Grass Knot, and from this range, Grass Knot will be getting the one shot onto for Alligator. We're able to Astonish farm down Talonflame and take that game. So, GG's that opponent there. So, hopping into the next battle, we see Drapion on the lead. Drapion also a bit of an issue for this team. Drapion very spammy to these crunches, and crunch is going to do a lot. Again, they are going to resist our Astonish damage. Outside of Discharge, Body Slam is the only move I can throw that at least hits for neutral. We're able to force a shield advantage, and as we're running an ABB team, we are going to save switch into Amoonguss and see what their best grass type counter is. The opponent sends out Jumpluff. Not a particularly good spot to be in, especially without Sludge Bomb, but it's nice to bait this thing out so Fungus doesn't have to see it. I haven't really got a great way of dealing with this Jumpluff, so I am actually going to invest the Protect Shield, blocking up the Aerial Ace, throw one Astonish and fire off the next Foul Play. You can see these Foul Plays really don't do much to Jumpluff whatsoever. Aerial Ace, not the best move. Ask them Germans, because we all know what the Germans call that move. Aerial Ace actually isn't lethal. We pivot out into Electrode, looking to force the energy. So I'm going to have to fully wait out my clock here, as we will be switch locked. We need Amoonguss to somehow pull off a miracle sweep. Aerial Ace won't be lethal, but is super effective. Last second, I choose to invest the Protect Shield, and out comes Cradilly. We are not sitting in the best spot. Grass Knot, of course, will hit for neutral, but the opponent still has a shield tie behind and still have a healthy Drapion too. The opponent going to fire off the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb gets me below half health once again. We're going to fire off the Grass Knot. Grass Knot debuff won't be lethal. We pivot out into Amoonguss. The opponent doesn't make a catch. We're able to reach the Grass Knot. Grass Knot will be moving Cradily from the field of play, but Drapion able to Poison Sting Farmers down. They're going to be able to outpace to a charge move. Not that really matters, as Body Slam wouldn't have been lethal from there, and unfortunately this one is going to end in defeat. Another very tough team, but GG's to that opponent there. So heading into the next battle, we see Fortress in the lead position. The entire team do quite well into Fortress, as the entirety of the team does resist Electric. Electro does need to be wary. The opponent can learn Earthquake, but this opponent threw the Rock Tomb. As soon as they got it, they should have thrown one further Volt Switch, at least looking to fake an Earthquake. Once again, I overfarm, fire off the discharge on the CMP tie to the second Rock Tomb, and down goes Fortress. I pivot out into Amoonguss, Sand Slash temporarily into the arena, and we bait out Dust Noir. The opponent is very weak to a Grass and Poison type, running Astonish as a quick move, and thankfully, we've got not one, but two. The opponent fire off the Shadow Punch, which is survivable. The opponent then throw the next move. At this point, we can just shield once, Astonish farm down, leaving with that Grass Knot. Back out comes Sand Slash, and we full send the Grass Knot. Grass Knot forces the final protection. We pivot out into Fungus. Any one move should be survivable, but we are going to play it safe. Shield up the charge move. The opponent full send the Scorching Sands. We now receive the energy for the next Grass Knot, and from this range, Grass Knot gets the one shot, and we're able to take that game. So GG's that opponent there. Into the next battle. We lead Shadow Electrode into Superior. I'm going to instantly pivot into my Amoonguss. The opponent stay in, looking to fire off an Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace is super effective, but doesn't get the same type attack bonus. The opponent continued to stay in. I fire off one Astonish and the Foul Play, looking to fake a potential Sludge Bomb. The opponent invests that protection and then send out Stun Fist, which is more than fine for me, as this is a very good matchup. Mud Bomb does hit for neutral, but Amoonguss is a very bulky Pokemon. We full send the Grass Knot. Grass Knot lands for monstrous damage. Unfortunately, not quite putting them into Astonish farm down range. We are going to invest the Protect Shield. I look to Astonish farm down, recognise we're going to be unable to get it. We're just going to sacrifice Electrode. Mud Bomb does big damage. The opponent then send out Superior, and they are going to need to fire off a Frenzy Plant to pick up the knockout. The opponent does exactly that. Frenzy Plant picks up the one shot. I'm going to fully wait out my timer and send out Fungus. Aerial Ace is going to hit for super effective, and Fungus, unlike Amoonguss, isn't going to tank it all that well. Aerial Ace gets me below half health, but I need to save my final shield, and I don't know what's in the back. We're going to fire off the Body Slam. Body Slam actually forces the opponent's final protection, and at this point I am definitely shielding. We do invest that Protect Shield. The opponent then sends out Lapras. Lapras has no shields. We go straight for the Grass Knot. Grass Knot rocks them below half health. Switch timer pops up. We're going to fire off the Grass Knot. We've got banked on our Amoonguss. Grass Knot gets the one shot. Back out comes Superior. Superior looking for that double resisted Vine Whip farm down. We're able to reach the Foul Play. Foul Play isn't quite lethal. We're able to Astonish farm down afterwards. Astonish farm down Stun Fist. And I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next battle. We see the same lead. So we're going to do exactly as we did last time. Save switch into Fungus, and the opponent sends out Jellicent. Once again, more than fine for me. We go straight for the Grass Knot. Unfortunately, Grass Knot forces the Protect Shield. We're very bulky, so a Shadow Ball is survivable. But we are going to invest the Protect Shield. The opponent actually bait with the Surf, which means this will be the Shadow Ball. But Amoonguss not in Shadow Ball range. Shadow Ball does do a lot, but nowhere near enough to get the knockout. We farm up to the double Foul Play. Foul Play from this range, it does pick up the knockout, and out comes Mandibars. So it looks like the opponent actually misclicked. Of course, they would have been in a much better position if they sent out Mandibars into our Amoonguss originally. The opponent continuing to overfarm, allowing me to reach one further Grass Knot, and despite this being resisted, we're actually able to get them into the yellow health range. I'm more than happy to let the opponent fully snarl farm me down, as I want to keep the alignment of Electrode into the Mandibars. We're going to bank a charge move and send out Fungus. Despite the opponent probably misclicking in the mid-game matchup, this Superior is still going to be a problem for me. However, the opponent does throw an alignment, giving me a free Astonish Sneak. We really need to force this final shield off the opponent. Hopefully the opponent shield this, not knowing the moveset. The opponent tank the Body Slam. We're going to fire off one further Body Slam, but these Body Slams aren't doing much whatsoever. We pivot out into Electrode. The opponent already have the Frenzy Plant banked. Frenzy Plant going to pick up the knockout. Amoonguss is going to get outpaced, and unfortunately, we are going to take a heartbreaking defeat. But GG's to that opponent there. So, heading into the final battle of today's video, we see Shadow Gengar in the lead. Two better responses in the back. We save switch into Amoonguss, baiting out for Alligator. We're going straight for the Grass Knot. Grass Knot, unfortunately, does force the Protect Shield. The opponent does farm up to a potential Ice Beam. We are going to invest the Protect Shield, and unfortunately the opponent does bait with a Hydro Cannon, but this can only be a Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon is resisted damage. We can now overfarm, throw in 3 Astonishes and the next Grass Knot and see what the opponent wants to do. The opponent invests their final protection. At this point, I'm happy to let Amoonguss go down. Whilst Gengar is an absolutely terrifying Pokemon, Foul Play of course will be super effective and easily pick up the one-shot. The opponent sends back out Gengar. Look to throw on CMP, give me a free Volt Switch in the process. We shield up the Shadow Punch. We then attempt to snipe with Foongus, unsuccessfully. Out comes Primeape, and the opponent is going to concede the match.
So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.